Hello and welcome back to a new video. In this video we're going to talk more about how transformers work at a deeper level. So on the left side here I've just written out what we covered in the last lecture where these models have an embedding layer, some transformer layers, and then a projection into the vocabulary. We're going to go more into this in future lectures, but in this particular lecture I really want to build an intuition on what transformers are doing. So recall that after the embedding layer, what we get is this list of embeddings, which is kind of our hidden state. And for the rest of these transformer blocks, what we're doing is we're keeping the exact same shape. We're just kind of transforming this value over and over and over again, and then eventually we project it into the vocabulary. And if you look at the actual transformer code, you'll oftentimes see, you see a lot of code, but the hallmark of a transformer is this part, where a transformer does this QKV projection. And what that means is we take the hidden state, something like this, and we project it into these separate tensors, Q, K, and V. And the way we project it is via this matrix multiplication. And this matrix multiplication is with weights of the network. And so when we first start training the model, these weights are random. And so you can kind of think about this as like a random transformation from hidden state to Q, hidden state to K, and then hidden state to V. But over time, as we're learning and we're training, these transformations become more and more coherent. And one analogy I like to think about when it comes to Q, K, and V is a buffet, okay? So you can think about a query as like your desire for what you like to eat. You can think about K as a label for each possible dish in the buffet. And you can think about V as the actual food. So like if I'm a token, right, I come into the buffet, I see all of the possibilities that I can eat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate my query against each key, like their distance. And then after I calculate all the distances, I have this relative prioritization that I can then use to fill up my plate in the proportion corresponding to this distance criteria. And later on, I'm going to experience a loss, okay? So if things go well, very little loss, but if I get food poisoning, lots of loss. And then what I can do is I can update my distance calculation. I can update this learned transformation. And if I go to the buffet enough times, or if I go through enough training data, eventually this transformation is going to get quite good. I'm going to learn the right transformation from the hidden state to query, hidden state to key, and hidden state to value. And in practice, we do not simply, for every token, calculate the tension score to every other token. We do what's called causal masking, where you can only attend to tokens before you. So to really drive this home, let's talk about an example where you have a prompt of 1 apple plus 1 apple equals, okay? So when you first start training, it might just be completely random. And this projection of this hidden state for equals is going to go to some Q, K, and V. And you're going to have some Q that represents the equal sign. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a matmul to see the interaction between Q and the K for the rest of these tokens. So the Q of equals versus apple, the Q of equals versus 1, the Q of equals versus plus, etc., etc. And then after this, you're going to see a attention matrix like this, and then you're going to dot product it with the value, and then you have your kind of new hidden value. And later on, when you get your loss and you're back propagating, what's going to happen is you're eventually going to be like, oh, you know what I should have done? In the same way that if I like spicy food, I should like look for labels with spicy. When I'm doing math and I see 1 apple plus 1 apple equals, I probably should have really focused on the plus sign and the numbers, because that would have told me the answer is 2. And yeah. So I swear, I've recorded this video like 15 times. I really hope this was intuitive and gave you a base of it. I don't have time to record more videos. So take it as you will. In the next few lectures, we're going to learn other things, but hopefully this gave you some intuition as to the transformer QKB, why it's important, how training makes it better. And yeah, see you in the next one.